this usually goes at the very end of the outreach, like after the financial aid, but before like any questions and answers, like any student panel kind of stuff. The point of this presentation is sort of like to make sure that students know that like there's multiple ways to get to college. You know, you don't have to go straight out of high school into college. Like even though like that's the path that a lot of people take, that's not the only path. And like if people don't do so well in high school, or they have other things that they need to take care of, you just want to emphasize that like we're talking to you too. The way we like to do this is with a diagram. So there's a big slot in your notes where I suggest that you like write down this diagram. So you really just want to start out with, okay, well, this is where the students are right now. This is high school. And then you ask, okay, well, what are some of the things that you can do after high school? And you just open it up and like make sure you ask the students like what do they want to do. And some of the things that will usually pop up are four-year university. Like it's what you've been talking about. So a UC, a CSU, or a private, everyone here is clear about like what that means, right? Like there's no trip ups, state college, university. And then you ask them, okay, well, what else? And I want to open it up to you all. Like, what do you think should go on this diagram? Work.
Community college.
Community college, or a junior college. What else? And like, usually at this point, people will get tripped up. Like, there's more you can do. Like, what else? Travel.
Business. Starting one.
So that's sort of like work. Or like you can write it down. Like whatever people want to say, like you can write it down. Like just make sure the conversation keeps going. Right?
Nothing.
Nothing. So time off. And like usually when you write this, people will be looking at you like, what? Like what are you trying to say? Or like, you know. But like that's definitely an option. Like people forget that like some people just need like a year or two to like get their bearings and like figure out what they want to do. One thing that I didn't notice was on here was vocational school. Does everyone here know what a vocational school is? You shout it out. I can't see if anyone's using that. Right, so those schools like DeVry, ITT Tech, like those ones that you see on TV, those are geared toward getting people into the workforce. Like you can become a mechanic in 2 years or whatever. But one of the things that we would like to stress about vocational schools are, yes, they are great for accelerating you into the workforce, but they're less flexible. So if halfway through you realize, oh, I don't want to be a mechanic anymore. Like, it's really hard to change your major in a vocational school, but if you're in a four-year university, then you do have that flexibility, you can do that. But some people want to be a mechanic and they know that right off the bat, so you can definitely direct them to those sorts of resources. Anything else? Army. So that's very touchy subject because like we're not a military recruitment center, and like if they have family in the military, that might be a very touchy subject. So what we like to do is sort of do a dotted line that says yes, this is an option, but we as PAS are not here talking about that. Like that's not what we're talking about. But it is a very valid option, and like does that make sense to everyone? Like why we sort of like distance ourselves? Like it's a very touchy subject. Like we really don't want to offend anyone. Like we don't want to like honestly, I don't want to see people going to go fight wars and like they're not going to get an education, So acknowledge it, but sort of move forward. Does that make sense? Like if it comes up, then it comes up, but like sort of be careful with it and like use your own discretion.
So if they don't bring it up to you,
yeah, you don't have to necessarily bring it up. And you're gonna get some more random ones, like you're gonna get party, you're gonna get like travel to Europe, you're gonna get, Peace Corps is the one that comes up a lot too. So like you can feel free to put as many as you want, like just be flexible, make sure conversation's going. And once you sort of have enough, you can sort of take a step back and say, oh, you know what we've been talking about this whole presentation has been this line. But we want to open it up and say, you know what, there's a lot of different other paths that we can take. And there's also a lot of invisible lines here. Do you all see them? Invisible lines? Because they're invisible, right? I love using that line, I'm sorry. Because some people will be like, it's like, yeah, I see them, but like, no, you don't, they're invisible. So we usually like to illustrate it with a story, somebody in your high school, you know, maybe they have to take care of their family, they've got stuff that they have to deal with. So they go into work right after high school, which is fine, you know. Some people have to do that. But let's say you can take 9 courses at a community college, and then after 2 years, use those credits to transfer into a 4-year university. And like take a step back and say, you know what, all of these boxes connect to every other box. After you travel, when you get back, you can take some time off, and then afterward you go to community college, and then after that you may want to work, but then you have those credits to go to 4-year university, or like, and then you want to go to vocational school. Like all of the boxes definitely connect, and you want to emphasize that. There's no timeline, there's no set path that you need to take, but really stress that where we want to see people end up is right here. Because we feel that this has a great experience, you're going to get a good education, you're going to be able to learn the skills that you can to get a job. Like that's where we want to see people. And like I've seen like 30-year-old single parents bring their kids to class with them so that they can get an education. So like there's no set person, there's no set time. Like however you want to get there, but don't get stuck. Because I've seen people at community college 1, 2 years, oh I don't know what to do, I'm taking random courses, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And like that's not where I want to see people. I want to see people moving forward and like going here. And like that's sort of, you want to leave them empowered. You want to leave them with the sense that, you know what, I can do this. Like no matter how long it takes, I want to get to college. And that's super possible. Are there any questions about anything that I did with this diagram or what the purpose of this whole activity is? And like you want to put it at the end to empower students? Because a lot of the times like you'll get the people in the class that like, you know, they don't really try hard in high school, they don't have a lot of the grades, but like this is a fresh start for them, you know. After high school, once you get to community college, no one cares what you did in high school anymore. And like it's a clean start for you to be able to go here. So yeah. Once again, like leave the students empowered. And like you can share your own experiences, you can share any of the stories that we give you because we're going to be on outreaches too and like talking to the students. Just make that connection and make sure people know that we do want to see people here.